You're in Braves country.
Good afternoon, Braves country. Hope you are having a good Monday as we are kind of running in here on the seat of our pants. Had a lot going on this morning, trying to get the whole moving thing done and everything. And with that comes along with all the other stuff as trying to get all my technical stuff going in the right direction, heading into all the different stations. Welcome into Braves country today. I am Mac Magee, and we are ready for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves, and we are going to be going over the starting lineup just before first pitch. But I want to hit you with some big news. We got some big news that has hit already, and this is just insane, some of the stuff that has gone on. First of all, if you missed it, it broke about an hour or so ago. I want to say it was closer to 11 a.m. Eastern. I can't remember, but not important. Sean Murphy is done. He is out for at least 4 to 6 weeks, so we will not see him for the rest of the spring, and the hope would be we see him sometime in April. And I fear that this is going to be another repeat of 2024, where, remember, he got hurt at the very beginning of the season, and then they rushed him back. I might be misspeaking there. They didn't necessarily rush him back, but he came back in about a month or so, and he never looked like he did in 2023. And he struggled at the plate. He was actually an automatic out most of the season. And so we were hoping to get a good spring out of Murph and get him going like he was in 2023, and that's not going to be the case. Instead, what we're going to be looking at is if you remember, if you were with us on the Friday afternoon game, he got hit in the back. Well, evidently it cracked a rib or multiple ribs. The report is cracked ribs, 4 to 6 weeks. That's the timeline. So best case scenario, you're talking April 3rd. That's about a week into the season. Maybe he's ready for the home opener against the Marlins, which is a Friday night, a week into the season. Probably not going to happen that way. Okay, that's the bad news. The good news, I believe, and I've been saying this for quite some time, it's Drake Baldwin's time to shine. I believe that Drake Baldwin's going to get an opportunity behind home plate. He's not known for the defensive prowess that Murphy has, but at the same token, we have not been overly impressed with Sean Murphy defensively. Honestly, since they changed the base running rules, everybody's running on everybody. And there's only a couple of catchers in Major League Baseball. JT Realmuto is the first one that comes to mind that you just don't run on. Other than that, It takes a perfect pitch, a perfect release from the catcher, et cetera, et cetera. So that part I'm really not that concerned about. Sandy Leon has looked really good in the spring. I know he's an aging catcher, and you can't put him out there every day. He's 35 years old. He's barely hit above the Mendoza line his entire career, but he's hit well this spring. You've also got Chadwick Tromp, so it'll be some kind of – now, what they could do is put Drake Baldwin down in the minors to start the season and have a Tromp Leon basically 4 to 6 week tryout to see who jumps to the forefront. And they may do that because of the lack of options on the players. But if Drake Baldwin continues to hit like he has hit this entire spring, man, I'm telling you right now, he deserves a chance at that starting lineup. If you've missed the game we did the other day, he got our game ball. I believe he was 3 for 4, maybe it was 4 for 5, and he's not a hard hitting catcher. He's not a guy that goes out there and just launches the ball over the fence. You're not getting a second coming of William Contreras. Still think it's the worst trade in possibly Braves history, definitely since I've been following the Braves since the early 1980s. But he does hit for average. He does have some pop, and he's pretty athletic, so when you get him on the base paths, he's not clogging up the base paths. So that's what we're talking about. Good to see everybody in the chat. We'll do roll call here in a minute, but I do see John and Network and Robert. I thought, yeah, there's David. Good to see you. So if you're just joining us, Sean Murphy out 4 to 6 weeks. And I've been just watching the litany of injuries around Major League Baseball in spring training and kept thinking to myself, man, I really wish a lot of these people on social media on Braves X, essentially, would quit gloating every time someone gets injured, because you know what goes around comes around. And sure enough, Sean Murphy's injury pops up. The other thing that we have here is A.J. Smith-Shawver pitches today. I'm going to throw this out there, and it's a concern for me. They have not released anything, but it is a concern for me. We have not seen Chris Sale since the very beginning of spring training. So that's a huge damn concern. I was helping pack over the last couple of days, helping get my wife's stuff packed away. She's got to head on to her new job, and then we're just going to slowly move up there. It's a long story. I won't bore you with the details. But anyways, as I was packing, I had the games on. So I caught the games even though I couldn't broadcast them. I haven't heard anyone mention anything about Chris Sale. I've been on social media, and maybe Chris Sale is pitching early this week, and maybe this is going by plan, but it's a little strange to go this long, especially when you remember him getting shut down at the end of last year. And his entire career has had issues with injuries. Real quick before we have to jump on to break and do the roll calls, we'll talk more about this during the game. But Sean Murphy's out 4 to 6 weeks with cracked ribs. Got hit on Friday during the Friday game. If you caught it with us, real quick, I want to see if I had a couple of things. Some of the stuff we'll go over during the game, but Hector Neris was signed, and he is in camp. Relief pitcher. Most of you remember him from Phillies, Mets, and a couple other stops. He's really just a more of a depth piece to see what we have and see what we might have. If he gets in the game today or sometime this week, we're doing 4 ball games, you're going to see that he's got gas. The problem is he's been hit hard over the last few years. So we'll see what that is. A few years ago, that's a big deal getting Hector Neris. Right now, it's a non-roster invitee. All right, we're going to go ahead and hit that break. When we come back, pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Roll call and lineups are next.
You're in Braves country.
Want a beer? 7 o'clock in the morning. Scotch?
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. You're listening live, and the scene is the Grapefruit League down in Florida. We're set to bring you pitch by pitch, play by play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here's your starting lineups for today's action. Leading off and playing second base for your Atlanta Braves, it's Ozzie Albies. Michael Harris batting second, playing center. Marcell Ozuna, the designated hitter, batting third. And Cooper is playing first base, giving Matt Olson the day off, is batting cleanup. Brian De La Cruz is batting fifth, and in right field, Orlando Arcia batting sixth and playing short. Chadwick Tromp batting seventh and behind home plate. Marisnick is in left field and batting eighth, and LeBlanc is batting ninth and playing third. For the Tampa Bay Rays, we have Justin Lau in right field and leading off. Jimenez, Eloy Jimenez, the designated hitter, batting second. Lowe, the second baseman, batting third. Meade is batting cleanup and playing third. Aranda is at first, batting fifth. Caballero is at short and batting sixth. Palacios is in left field. Jansen is the catcher and batting eighth. And DeLuca is in center field and batting ninth. Your starting pitchers today expected to go a few innings. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves, it's A.J. Smith-Shawver. The right-hander will be going head-to-head with Drew Rasmussen. We're getting set here for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Get ready for roll call. We'll be back in a flash. Well, it's about that time. Grab you a cold one. Find you an armchair. Atlanta Braves baseball right here on Braves Country Radio. Your modern-day superstation is in its fifth season of bringing you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves and our one-of-a-kind production. Take us anywhere you go for over 170 Atlanta Braves ball games. Please like and subscribe today. Join the Country Club. Thank you to all the Country Club members. You help support Braves Country Radio.
Get this bus moving.
Stop.
Come back.
Too late.
Roll call! Yeah, roll call!
You're in Braves country.
Ready for roll call. We'll go top to bottom. Who is jumping in here first? Good to see you, John and David S., Country Club member. Network, good to see you. Robert, good morning. Guess it's still morning where you're at. Good to see you, Hellion. Thought I saw a few others here in the chat. See Mary over on Facebook. We're also on YouTube and a couple other outlets, Braves Country Radio. And Charlie Elrod, I believe. Good afternoon. We're just about set for pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. And if you missed the news, we'll talk about it much more here in a second. But Sean Murphy is out 4 to 6 weeks with cracked ribs, and the injury occurred on Friday's game where he was hit in the back, upper part of the back on the left side. We were doing the game. We saw it and didn't think a whole lot of it. It didn't look like a very terrible injury, but evidently he's got cracked ribs and he's expected to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So today we've got Chadwick Tromp, but you're also talking about Sandy Leon's going to be in the mix, and obviously Drake Baldwin, kid that they're really big on. And if these injuries continue with Sean Murphy, he's going to be very important to the Braves lineup going down the road because you've spent so much money on Murphy, and he still has, was it 3-4 years left on that contract. So you can't really afford to go out and get a big-time catcher. And so Drake Baldwin's going to be asked to kind of carry the load. We are just about set. First pitch is 1:05, and we are going to go ahead and do the national anthem here on Braves Country.
This is a reminder.
Time, folks. Join us now for another Braves ball game. Yes, sir. We'll send you some play-by-play. And your seat right bang behind home plate. So, let's see what's going on in the dock. This is the one we've been waiting for. This is it. This makes you feel like it's spring and baseball. No more measles. 366.
You're in Braves Country.
Disorderly conduct will not be tolerated. Please respect your fellow fans and refrain from any unruly behavior. Failure to comply with these guidelines will result in ejection. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We direct your attention now to home plate.
Please remain standing. We call your attention to our bands here today. They will be jointly directed. And now, another fixture, our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Play ball!
Welcome in, y'all. First pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves on the way to Ozzie Albies. He takes a mighty swack at that, and that ball's going to get down where the green grass grows. Ozzie Albies with a long lead-off single. He took the long turn, but decided to stay where he's at. One on, nobody out. Couldn't quite get it to the wall. And we're already rocking here. Righty-lefty matchup. Here comes Michael Harris second to the plate. One on, nobody out. Here's the first pitch. Fastball right down the pipe, about belt high. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Welcome in, Max. Rasmussen, the right-hander, comes set, kicks and fires. Check swing, Bender. Fouled back, it's 0-2. Kind of an excuse me swing. So an 0-2 count, and Ozzie Albies standing on first, nobody out. Harris digs in, kicks and fires. Inside, fastball just misses 1-2. We'll also be keeping an eye on Charlie Morton is pitching today for Baltimore, so I'm going to keep an eye on that for you as well. Just kind of interested to see how he does. The 1-2. Swung on, chopped over towards third. It's going to be a 5, 4, 3, rally killing double play. Hard hit ball, but right at the third baseman. So 2 down. Marcell Ozuna batting third today. A little bit out of his where he's been hitting this spring. He had been hitting cleanup all spring. First pitch on the way. Belt high for a strike. It's 0-1. Ozuna 39 home runs last year, 104 RBI. The 0-1. Fastball. Down and away for a strike on the outer edge. 0-2. So far, Blue behind the plate, he's got a rather wide strike zone to right-handers on the outside edge. The 0-2 swung on, chopped foul back behind home plate. We'll do it again, 0-2. Braves nothing, Rays nothing. Just getting going here if you're just joining us. Rays are wearing their baby blue tops and ball caps with the yellow bill and the sunburst on the chest and on the cap. Kind of a festive spring look to their uniforms. Braves are in their classic road spring training gear with the gray pants and the dark blue jerseys. Atlanta across the chest, outlined in white, tomahawk underneath. Blue ball caps and the classic A on the front. The 0-2 misses high, 1-2. So 1-2 count. 10th pitch of the inning. Swing. Just got a piece of that stay alive. We'll do it again. Good to see you, Blanca. And yes, the 3D should be back comes opening day, so we'll be back to normal opening day. I have not seen them do any 3D during spring training. The 1-2 outside wide, 2-2. If y'all were with us last year, I guess the last month, 2 months of the season that they broke that out. I was a little surprised we didn't see it in the world of football or basketball. The 2-2, check swing, and that was going to be a soft liner over to first, and that'll end the inning. After in your scorecard, we'll grab the gloves and get to work. It's A.J. Smith-Shawver Day, back in a flash here on Braves Country.
And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. I think it's time to go.
Today we hop aboard the big train and learn more about one of baseball's best pitchers, Walter Perry Johnson. His sidearm motion made it difficult for right-handed hitters to follow because the ball looked like it was coming out of third base. His record 3,509 strikeouts would stand for more than 55 years before it was surpassed by 3 other Hall of Fame pitchers in 1983. Only Cy Young has won more games than him, and they remain the only pitchers to win 400 or more games. He had 12 20-win seasons, of which 10 of them occurred in a row. Twice he topped 30 wins. He is the all-time leader in shutouts with 110. He also holds the record for most wins in 1-0 games with 38. 65 times during his career he lost because his team failed to score a run. He won the American League MVP twice, which has only been done 3 times in history by a pitcher. He remains the only pitcher in history to pitch 2 40-plus consecutive scoreless innings. His 547 hits are the most by a full-time pitcher, which thanks to the DH will never be broken. He led the league in strikeouts, a major league record 12 times. After all that, where does Walter Johnson rank on your all-time pitchers list?
I think his role has been on George Brett for many, many years to sort of guide the principles of the organization.
We got action.
I think he loves being able to meet people.
And it drives me crazy. I'm trying to watch the game, and you're doing backflips and running around yelling and screaming.
He's such an icon in Kansas City. He's everybody's childhood.
You know what they call this room? Pine Tar Productions. Perfect. Isn't that what this is? Pine Tar Productions? Pine Tar Collective.
To roam around during the games, to sit with the owner, to hobnob with different sponsors.
Hey, Rusty, how are you? Good to see you.
He's really good at that. I used to tease him and say, "You're Slugger in a blazer." That's basically what he is. He's like their mascot in a blue blazer.
Welcome back. A.J. Smith-Shawver goes to work. Righty-lefty matchup. First pitch on the way from the right-hander is a fastball on the outer edge, swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Misses up top. 1-1. 1-1 count. Braves went after the double play, essentially 3 up, 3 down. If you're just joining us in the top of the first, Ozzie led off with a long single, double play hit into by Harris, and then Ozuna soft liner to first. The 1-1 misses, 2-1. 2-1 count, kicks and delivers. Fastball. Whoa, that looked like that was right there. I don't believe they have the ABS today. Inside 3-1. 3-1 count. Deliver, swung on, popped up, high in the sky, coming over, and camping underneath it in left field. Making the long catch there for out number 1. Harris was drifting over there, thought he might actually have a play on it, but instead, it's Marisnik with the out, F7 in your scorecard. Eloy Jimenez coming to the plate. Jimenez, first pitch swinging, pops it up. Back out of play. 0-1. Jimenez at one point was one of the biggest prospects in baseball and had a couple of solid years with the White Sox and has really fallen off. There was injuries and just couldn't get right the last couple of seasons. As the 0-1 pops back foul. 1-1. 1-1 count. Fastball, swing and a miss. Might have been a little sinker action on it, 1-2. Jimenez is from the Dominican Republic. I don't know if y'all saw it or not, but Albert Pujols is expected to be the manager of the Dominican Republic team in 2026 at the WBC, and he says he is ready to manage on the big league level. So we could see that coming down the pipes this year. The 1-2, outside wide 2-2. He was in Angels camp announcing it. My first reaction was, you can have the Angels job. We'll take Ron Washington back right now. 2-2 in the dirt. 3-2. When Washington was here, it used to drive me crazy when he would send guys a little too often and early. But man, I would take that over Tui Asasopo's. I mean, you talk about a guy who sits there at third and plays station to station baseball. The payoff pitch from Shawver, swung on, chopped off the plate. We'll do it again. A.J. Smith-Shawver has pitched pretty well this spring, and he's vying for, even if he doesn't make the opening day roster, to be ready to roll at some point this year. They've kind of had him with kid gloves the first few years. A, he's young, and B, he just doesn't have a lot of experience on the mound. He didn't start pitching till his senior year in high school. I believe he just turned 21 years old. Double check that for you. Okay, I'm sorry, he just turned 22, but nonetheless, he just had, if you do the math, he's only got a few years of experience as a pitcher. Before that, he had never pitched in high school. He was an infielder. As the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pulled the string on that one. 2 away. So Sean Murphy is out for 4 to 6 weeks. Cracked ribs if you missed that. Just want to bring that up for people who might be jumping in. Good to see you, Catherine. Hope all the travels are well going up and down I-95 right now. First pitch on the way is in the dirt for a ball. It's 1-0. Did y'all see those wildfires that are breaking out in South Carolina now? And it just hasn't stopped. And they're so random, they're all over the state. We were looking at the map this morning. The 1-0. Fastball right there on the inner track. He got that call 1-1. 1-1 count. Braves nothing, Rays nothing. Have an overcast day here at Charlotte Park, home of the Tampa Bay Rays. The 1-1 foul back, 1-2. A.J. Smith-Shawver rocking the number 32 jersey. He's got Smith-Shawver across his back is the 1-2 pitch. Is swung on. That's going to get dinked into center field, down for a base hit, and it's a 2-out single for the Tampa Bay Rays. Because Smith-Shawver is such a long name, it's kind of rainbowed on the back, kind of bent over. We need to talk to AJ and talk to him about his nickname. Just put SSAJ up there. Curtis Mead is your batter. Righty-righty matchup. This spring, he's batting .833 in 12 at-bats, 10 hits. Wow. First pitch on the way is in the dirt. It's 1-0. Those spring numbers don't really matter. You got to figure A.J. Smith-Shawver and Chadwick Tromp are very aware that he is red hot right now. The 1-0. Kicks and fires. Right down the pipe for a strike. Belt high just on the outer quadrant. 1-1 count. Shawver, by the way, is at 18 pitches. Pretty high number. If he gets much higher, they may sit him the rest of the inning, and you can bring him back in spring. The 1-1 down below the knees, 2-1. Obviously, in real baseball games that count, you pull a guy, he's done for the day. But in the spring games, they changed that rule back during the pandemic, and if they want to go pull him right now and have someone else pitch, they can, and they can bring him back in the second inning, third inning, whatever. The 2-1's down and away, ball 3-1. So Shawver, who got out to 2 quick outs and then gave up the seeing eye single, now ran it to a 3-1 count against Meade. The 3-1 misses high, ball 4. Jeff Meade will head on down to second. 2 on, 2 out here in the bottom of the first, and Aranda is the batter. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Jonathan Aranda, 26-year-old, out of Tijuana, Mexico. I bet he's got some stories. This is his 3rd year in the minor leagues with the Tampa Bay Rays. First pitch on the way is a bender. Looked like it was a little inside, but no ABS today. It's 0-1. If you missed the news other than Sean Murphy cracking his ribs and out 4 to 6 weeks, the Braves also signed Neris today. We'll go over a couple other moves here in a second. The 0-1. Fastball right down the track, 0-2. Deuce is wild, bottom of the first, 2 on, 2 out, 2 strikes on Aranda. Braves are playing back into the right. The 0-2, fastball misses high and out of the zone, 1-2. Hector Neris became the 49th player in the Braves big league camp, which is honestly a much smaller camp than most teams right now. Most of the teams that I've seen are somewhere around the mid-50s. Braves continue to cut guys, and they signed Neris on. The 1-2, swung on, lifted into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. De La Cruz comes over, cuts it off, fires it in the infield, but Tampa Bay takes a 1-0 lead. That'll bring Caballero to the plate. Kind of a hanger. got way too much of the plate. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. In a hazy Monday afternoon here in Florida, the Grapefruit League, and they're coming out to the mound. I think Snicker's going to pull him. We may see him in inning number 2, but they don't want him to run too many more pitches on that arm here in spring training. We'll be back in a flash. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. When we come back, we'll introduce the Southpaw coming to the hill.
When people say they don't like me, I put on glasses to see if I give a and I know.
So Dale Murphy bats. He ripped a double to right center his first time. 2-1 Atlanta in the 3rd inning. Deep right field for Murphy. Strawberry has gone as far as he can go, and it's out of here. Dale Murphy.
Murphy at first. Murphy drives it. Deep left field. You can kiss this one goodbye. How far will it go? Murphy is at 2 today. 11-1 now, and there won't be 37,000 fans here when this inning is over.
Why do you call petrol gas when it is literally a liquid?
So you don't like us calling petrol gas, huh? Remind me again, what do you guys call cigarettes?
Wait, in the Brits' defense, yeah? I've got nothing. In America, you would say, I'm going to smoke a cigarette. If, what we would say in the UK, I'm going to smoke, if you said that in America, woo! Chill out, America.
There were a lot of people in baseball who believed that Sandy Koufax would never be a major league pitcher. He had no control his first few years in the major leagues. He was getting nowhere at all. He was walking more people than he was striking out. And then suddenly, he found it. And when he found it, there was a period that ran from 1961 through 1966 in which he was good as any pitcher in baseball history.
It's an unfair contest after they've been up to bat against him. And I remember more than once a batter being up there and looking at that terrific fastball, which always seemed to come up as it crossed the plate, and then shooting a look out to say, what was that? It was as if he'd thrown an Easter egg past him or something like that. It was something different. The game had been altered. And then he had that devastating curve. So the combination of those two, the batters felt absolutely helpless. And he was beautiful to watch because he bent his back in a way that other pitchers didn't. They had this enormous long hands and long arms. And there was a bow and arrow feeling about the way that he used his body.
Welcome back. McSteen, the Southpaw, take on Caballero. Runners on the corners, lefty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch off the 1-0. Drops the slider in there for a strike. It's 1-1. The 1-1. Kicks and fires. Down in the dirt. 2-1. If anybody wants to play in our fantasy baseball league this year, reach out to us. Either DM us on X at Braves Country X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Or you can email us at macmageesports@yahoo.com. The 2-1. Inside. 3-1. Or I guess if you want to put your email out here right now, just it won't let a full email show, so you kind of have to leave out the .com part. Just such and such at Yahoo or such and such at Gmail, and we'll get your drift. The 3-1, chopped over to third. It's going to be a 5-3 putout, and that'll end the inning. So the Rays put one on. McSteen puts out the fire. When we come back, the Braves will grab the bats here in Braves country.
Looks like you got some stuff going on. Want to tell me what you did? Want to tell me who you did? Was it a boy?
Sometimes you need to take the opportunity just to come out and see. A full moon is that complete rounded circle, which is made up mostly of gases. The question is why or how could we as humans live on the moon? The gas is such that we could do that. The sun is a mighty powerful heat that is almost impossible to go near the sun. The moon is more manageable.
We'd like to know from you how you think it's going so far.
I mean, I think it's off to a great start. I feel like I'm overqualified for this position, if I'm being honest.
Oh.
And I like the team, but I think I have trouble with Amanda. I feel like sometimes she can just be such a You know, I mean, I don't.
Okay, so Amanda's sitting in on this. She's
right here, Brian.
Oh, hey, you. I was just talking about our client, Amanda.
I don't think you have any clients named Amanda.
I don't think you have any clients at all.
He had a way of tipping off his pitches. If he was pitching a fastball from the windup, he'd have his elbows out like this before the pitch. And if he was going to pitch a curveball, his elbows would be tucked in against him. So every batter knew exactly what he's going to be doing. Of course, the pitches were so good it didn't make any difference. They couldn't hit either one of them.
Lead him 4-0. Here's Mickey Mantle. Now the windup by Sandy. He delivers. It's a strike call. The fourth straight strikeout for Sandy Koufax.
Casey Stengel believed him the best pitcher in baseball history. Forget the other fellow, he said, meaning Walter Johnson. You can forget Waddell. The Jewish kid is probably the best of them.
Welcome back. Cooper is the batter. Righty-righty matchup. Garrett Cooper takes the first pitch from Rasmussen. Inside for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Up high, misses, 1-1. Sunny day here in Tampa, but a lot of clouds in the sky, so they're kind of peeking back and forth. Kind of has that hazy look. Is the 1-1. Down and away, 2-1. We got the game tomorrow here on Braves Country Radio. Minnesota Twins, same time, same channel. 105 first pitch, the 2-1 pitch. Inside 2-2. We'll also be here Thursday night. There is no game on Wednesday. And we'll be here Saturday afternoon. The game is not broadcasted anywhere on Friday. The 3-1. Chop foul down the line. Full count. Strange in this day and time with just about every device you have known to man has a camera on it that there's any games that aren't televised. Full count to Cooper. Down and away, ball 4. So a good at bat there by Garrett Cooper, former Miami Marlin. We'll head on down to first. And your Atlanta Braves got one on. Nobody out to start the second. Coming to the plate, Brian De La Cruz. De La Cruz takes a hack at the first pitch and bangs it down the line foul. It's 0-1. I'm a little surprised that De La Cruz is batting behind Cooper, to be honest, but there might be strategy to it later in the game. Brian De La Cruz, if you have not been paying attention, he is batting .500 this season, this spring training. The 0-1. Down and away, 1-1. Cooper is now batting .182. Ozzy's gotten off to a slow start at 143. Harris at 200. But Austin Riley was off to a slow start, and he got a couple of big hits yesterday. Now he's hitting well over 200. The 0-1 outside wide, 2-1. Marisnik, who's in the lineup today, is batting .333, and LeBlanc, batting ninth today, is batting .300. Here's a shocker. Orlando Arcia is hitless. The 2-1, right there on the outer track, 2-2. So a 2-2 count. Swung on, chop foul. Do it again. Braves nothing, Rays 1. Pitch on the way, swung on, ripped over towards short. Kind of a funny hop. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play. Good job by the Rays shortstop, Caballero to hang with that. That ball almost ate him up. And throw off his back foot and had enough mustard on it to turn the double play. Two down. That'll bring Orlando Arcia to the plate looking for his first base hit of the spring. Righty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way. Check swing. Right through it. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Right there at the knees on the inner cut, 0-2. Good to see you, Tate. I believe I've said hi to everybody so far. Spring training action down here in Florida on an early March Monday afternoon as the 0-2 misses outside wide 2-2. Or excuse me, 1-2. By the way, Charlie Morton is up on the Red Sox 1-0 in the second. I haven't had a chance to see him actually throw the ball. I saw him warming up, and then we went to our action. But I don't know how long he's in the game, or haven't really paid attention to his spring. I just saw that he was pitching today. The 1-2. Outside. Good take by Arcia. 2-2. The 2-2 count. Swing, lifts it high. Not quite deep enough into center field. Just before the warning track, it'll be allowed out number 3. So the Braves get one on, but can't do anything with it. We'll be back in a flash, heading to the bottom of the second inning here in Braves country in the Grapefruit League.
Yo, I don't know who need to hear this, but pick up your mother feet when you walking. Just ignorant.
Suspect's 29 years old and still her pants in the supermarket.
That was one time! Suspect says he wants to lose weight, but eats a whole bag of Butterfingers.
She gave me a bunch of crap about me not listening to her enough or something. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention.
It's fall and winter, which means I'm going to have to start covering all my body and all my tattoos. How are you guys going to know I'm chill like that? How are you guys going to know that I look sick under all this? Oh, my God.
Suspect pees while sitting down.
What? Suspect leaves massive skid marks in their underwear. It's like burnouts.
Spring training, you know, we're playing every other day. Not, you know, I may go a week without a ground ball, and then, you know, I get into season, it's like, you know, here we go. And I feel like that's always kind of been the lacking part of like being ready. It's just like, you know, getting those ground balls under your belt and doing live fungos. It's like, especially at third base off the live, like you get those top spinners, you get those in between hops where you got to take a step back, take a step forward. I know for me personally, like the start of this season, I've never felt more comfortable at third base defensively this early. So I love it.
You know, I just like to get my feet moving. You see a little better than just a normal flip up and fungo, hitting soft toss, and get some more, you know, real game like, you know, bounces and, you know, difference of ball off the bat. So it's been good for us. We've been running with it and, you know, getting the legs moving, especially on day games. It's been good.
Yeah, it just helps us to kind of focus in on doing the small things right, and, you know, once you get the small things right, everything else sort of falls into place.
Welcome back. First pitch from A.J. Smith-Shawver, who's back out there, missed for a ball, 1-0. Followed up by a bending curveball. Just grabbed the inner track, 1-1. Palacios, the batter for the Tampa Bay Rays. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Good bender there, 1-2. So a 1-2 count. If y'all haven't paid attention to it, the New York Yankees have just been obliterated by injury after injury in this spring. Envy was asking about if there was is the 1-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Pulled the string on that one away. Envy was asking if it was a bad omen to get hurt in the spring. I mean, I guess the plus side of it is you get hurt now and you get ready to come back, and you're assuming the timeline's correct. We would have Sean Murphy back sometime in April. First pitch from Shawver misses high and out of the zone. It's 1-0. That's one of the reasons why, you know, a lot of fans will kind of overlook spring training, and it's become more and more important every year because of the depth that it takes to get through 162 game seasons. The 1-0 check swing pops it high, but not very deep, into just past the infield, drifting back, making the catches. Orlando Arcia, 2 down. When we talked about this on the first broadcast, when we went over the pitching and all the infield and outfield depth, but as the first pitch from Shawver just misses off the plate wide to the right-handed DeLuca, number 9 hitter, batting .217 last year with 6 home runs and 31 RBI. It's 1-0. The 1-0 right there for a strike, 1-1. But over the last couple of years, the Braves have averaged using 29 pitchers. But then on top of that, you think about the litany of injuries that they had last year from the everyday players. The 1-1 misses inside. That almost got him. I don't know how DeLuca avoided that one. 2-1. And you just have to be aware of the talent that's competing for playing time. Is the 2-1 pitch. That ball's going to get slapped into center field and down for a base hit, and it's a 2-out single for the Rays once again. It's kind of how the Rays got their first run of the game. Shawver got the quick 2 outs in the first and then gave up a few hits. The next thing you know, it was 1-0. Almost identical the way the ball landed on that one and the one that started the rally in the first. So that'll bring Josh Lowe to the plate. First pitch on the way, swing and a miss. Strike, it's 0-1. The 0-1. They're going to flip it over to first to keep the runner close by. But with the catchers that we have right now that are going to be there hopefully for opening day, we really have a 3-headed monster that's competing for 2 spots. As the 0-1 pitch. That ball, soft liner, going down to get her bat as shoe tops is Orlando Arcia, and that'll end the inning. So A.J. Smith-Shawver came out and bounces back after a rough first to close out the second. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
If your wife asks if y'all can have someone come and clean the house once per week, tell her you know the perfect person, then call her cell phone. After she back talks, tell her you're going to speak to her manager, and then text yourself.
What's up, Braves Country? Looking forward to a great Atlanta Braves season. See y'all at the ballpark. Love y'all.
How to pronounce this word, but PepsiCo just officially recalled their sugar-free Shua PPs.
Nobody correct him. Let's all instead Shua PPs ginger ale from now on.
During the 1970s and 80s, the war in Vietnam came to an end, and an American president was driven from office in disgrace. The Berlin Wall came down, and the Cold War ended. Democratic ideals flourished, but a new wave of fundamentalism ignited ancient animosities around the world. Casey Stengel and Satchel Paige died. By 1970, the national pastime was in trouble. Attendance had not increased for more than 2 decades. Now, the owner's grip on the destinies of the players was finally broken. And as their prospects improved, fans returned to the game. But old loyalties were sometimes forgotten. Now, what happened off the field, greed, scandal, strikes, seemed to overshadow the action on it. And now, as television demanded that most games be played at night, a whole generation of young fans would come of age without ever seeing a World Series game.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball.
This is a reminder.
Welcome back. Atlanta Braves show this one 1-0. We head to the top of the third. We'll grab the bats. First pitch on the way is the number 7 hitter today, Chadwick Tromp. Pitch is inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Misses outside wide, 2-0. So a 2-0 count. Kicks and fires right down the pipe, taken all the way, fastball, 2-1. With the injury to Sean Murphy, Chadwick Tromp knows that he's in the mix, and of course Drake Baldwin, and then the third man would be Sandy Leone, who has played very well this spring offensively. Ball 3-1, so a 3-1 count to Tromp. Right there for a strike on the intercut, 3-2. Braves nothing, Rays 1. The payoff pitch swung on, just got a piece of it, chopped it high off the plate. Robert, once again, you got to give me, is it Gmails at Yahoo? You would think Robert was like 95 years old and didn't understand emails. The payoff pitch. Brings it. Swung on, chopped foul down the line. We'll do it again. All right, we'll send it to what you gave it to. The payoff pitch. Swung on, lifted down the left field line, bending, making the running catch in the corner. Man, was that close to leaving the park. Deep left field for out number 1. Tampa Bay Rays left fielder Palacios on the run, had to catch it on the warning track just before the posts. The foul poles came into play. I thought that might sneak over, especially after you got the reaction of Hernandez, the right-hander, who is in for Rasmussen now. First pitch on the way to Marisnik. He belts that one. That's going back on the track. Ding dong, that pitch is dead. A mighty smack over the warning track, and your Atlanta Braves have tied it up 1-1. Jake Marisnik pounded the first pitch he saw, and he was sitting dead red. He did not miss. That pitch right there was the one very similar to the one that Chadwick Tromp took for the first strike in the at-bat, of the previous at-bat. And I was a little surprised he didn't swing at that. Now that I've seen Marisnik pound it, I'm thinking he probably should have. First pitch on the way to LeBlanc, the number 9 hitter, is outside wide for a ball. It's 1-0. 1-0. Down and away, 2-0. 2-0 count. All right, Robert, it is sent. Someone could type that in because I don't know if Robert's listening or just watching. Jason said he sent the invitation. 2-0 down the line, foul and out of play, 2-1. 2-1 count. Braves just tied it up 1-1 if you're just joining us. The 2-1 pitch swung on, chopped over towards short. It's going to be a 6-3 put out, 2 away. That'll flip the lineup over and take us back to the top of the lineup in Ozzie Albies. Did y'all see the video of Ozzie in the swimming with his fish at his place? I don't know if that was here in the States. I'm assuming it had to be here in the States because the video was shared very recently. First pitch on the way. It's right there on the outer edge. It's 0-1. So funny. He just jumped in there, and some of those fish looked to be about the same size as Ozzie. I was like, man, do not get our second baseman injured off a fish bite. The 0-1. Misses high and out of the zone, 1-1. Ozzie led us off today with a single. It was a long single into right center, but he didn't make the turn. I think if that's regular season, he probably digs for 2. 1-1. Swing and a miss, down and in. 1-2. So a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Down and away, 2-2. If not, then I might try to get that video for y'all tomorrow and share it on the screen because it's pretty funny. I saw it, man, I don't know, Saturday or Sunday. I was like, what am I looking at? I go, hell, that's Ozzie Albies. Is the 2-2. Down and away. Ball 3-2. So full count to Ozzie. Braves and Rays tied at 1, top of the third. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chase looked like the splitter out of the zone, and that'll end the inning. So the Braves put 1 on the board, tie it up. We'll go to the bottom of the third inning in a 1-1 tie here in the Grapefruit League.
How you feel?
Oh no! Is there anything I can do? Can I try again?
You know what? I'll ask you a question. If you can answer this one right, I'll let you pass.
Okay, thank you.
All right, listen carefully. There's an old man and there's a young kid at the light. So what do we hear first?
The old man, because the young kid has the whole life.
No! You hit the brakes!
The last conversation I ever had with my dad, the night before he died, if you knew what my dad was like, he wasn't, I love you and I'm sorry. He was a doer, not a talker. And he told me that he went through the same thing when he was a ball player. My dad was a really good baseball player. And this is how you get over this issue. You don't have a mental block. He said you have a temporary loss of confidence. And once the confidence comes back, this thing will dissipate. And so I started working on it in practice, just like he had told me. And I started getting my confidence back in practice. I actually switched him. I took on practice as a game. And so when game time came along, it was like, hey, I've already been through this. I was relaxing. And then when I got through that thing, I went on and I led the league in fielding in my position when I went to the American League. And I was in the top 5 fielding from then on in all second basemen. So it was about conversations with my dad that helped me get over this. And then after my dad died, about 3 years later, I was talking to my mom about this conversation with my dad. And my mom and dad have been together since the 5th grade. And my mom told me, she said, your dad never had a throwing problem in his life. He just said that because he knew how much I revered his strength and his wisdom. And if he could go through it, then it's not so bad that I'm going through it. And that's how I got my confidence back, by somebody that was selfless enough, like my dad, to tell me this when he never went through a throwing problem, but it helped me get over it. And thankfully, I was one of the very few guys that went through this thing that got over it. A lot of guys don't get over this issue.
Braves Country Radio. Welcome back. Classic call of Braves Country Baseball. A.J. Smith-Shawver kicking and firing. First pitch up high to Eloy Jimenez, the number 2 batter. It's 1-0. 1-0. Misses high. 2-0. Shawver at 39 pitches. Now, my guess would be they would take him out around 50 today. That's about where most of Pitchers are the 2-0. Swung on, pops it up out of play. 2-1. Y'all missed it the other day. We had Raylo and Grant Holmes. I'm sorry, Ian Anderson and Grant Holmes piggybacking off of him. And they combined with 6 innings of no-hit ball. 2 1s in the dirt ball, 3-1. 3-1 count. Pitch right there. P at the knees on the outer edge. 3-2. The payoff pitch. Right there. Caught. Looking strike 3. Right there on the inner cut. I think he was looking for something bendy on the outer edge, and he got straight gas on the inner thigh. 1 away. So we'll be here today, tomorrow, and we have Thursday nights. It's a night game, Thursday night's game, and Saturday afternoons. The other 2 this week are not. Well, one, we're off Wednesday altogether, and then Friday we are playing the Minnesota Twins, but there are no cameras there. The 1-0. Down below the knees, 2-0. Looking at next week, if I'm reading this right, I believe we're here. I'll double check it at the break, but I believe we're here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. The 2-0 right there on the outer edge, 2-1. I may be doing the game on the 15th, which is Saturday, but a lot of it has to do with what's going on with our move, so I'm not 100% sure about that one. I'm either going to be here on that day and off on the following Saturday, or vice versa. We'll keep you up to date. The 2-1 pitch. Swung on, chopped back towards the mound, over the head of A.J. Smith-Shawver. Trying to make a sliding grab so he can spin and throw it to first was Arcia. But the ball skipped through the infield. It's going to be a 1-out single for the Rays. I thought Arcia was going to have a chance to get it. It did tick off the glove of Shawver, and that might have messed up Arcia's sight line. And Shawver is gone. They're going to go get him out, and that'll probably be the last time we see him today. We're heading to the pen. When we come back, Braves trying to put this fire out. A.J. Smith-Shawver up around 50 pitches. Looks like to be done for the day.
Hey, does anybody else drive home fast as hell after work like they're running late for the house? Or is it just me?
Have you heard the story of Pete Gray? If not, you're about to hear one of the most inspirational stories in baseball history. He grew up in a poor family where all the children would have to work to bring in additional income after they finished the 8th grade. At the age of 6, he fell off the running board of a truck he hopped on and got his right arm caught in the spokes of the wheel. Due to the severity of his injury, doctors weren't able to save his arm and he would have to have it amputated. His injury didn't change the fact he was in love with baseball, and it didn't deter him from his dreams of playing Major League Baseball. To learn to hit, he practiced for hours with a stick and rock. For fielding, he would spend many hours practicing transferring the ball from his glove to his hand. He put a lot of work in a weight training program so his left arm could swing a heavy 38-ounce bat. In his first taste of professional baseball, he hit .381 in 42 games in the Canadian American League. Over the next 2 seasons across higher levels, he continued to get better, even hitting .333 with 68 stolen bases in 1944. In 1945, his contract was purchased for $20,000 by the St. Louis Browns. In 77 games that season, he batted .218 with 51 hits, 13 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases. Even though his time in the majors was short, what an inspiration for anyone who plays the game.
The only time I ever was embarrassed about baseball had little to do with being a girl. It had to do with the fact that when I went to Harvard, for a while I had a boyfriend who was somewhat snobby. And he came from a family that was a real intellectual family, and I'd gone to dinner at his house, and all night I was mesmerized by their talking about literature and history and how learned they all were. The next night, this young man came to my house, and my father talked the whole night about baseball. My boyfriend didn't care at all about baseball. And I remember for the first time looking at my father and thinking, This is narrow what we do here. This isn't as broad as my boyfriend's life. And the next morning, waking up feeling so guilty. And in the end, I got rid of the boyfriend.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way from Munoz is right there on the inside track for a strike. It's 0-1. Roddy Munoz, right-hander, facing Kurt Meade. Once again, he's 10 for 12 on the spring. Walked his last time up is a pitch in the dirt, 1-1. 1-1 count. Looks like Charlie Morton is already out of his game. He did not give up a run against the Red Sox. I don't have the line in front of me. This is the 1-1. This is outside 2-1. Try to pull that up for you here in a second. 2-1 count. Braves and Rays 1-1. Pitch on the way. Swing and just got a piece of it, but knocks it foul. 2-2. The 2-2. Munoz kicks and fires. Swung on, come back to the mound. Munoz fires it over into the outfield. He was aiming for Ozzie Albies. That is a terrible throw. And they'll have runners on the corners, one away. Munoz, kind of a flat-footed throw, and threw it into the outfield. That's not going to help you make the team. Charlie Morton, by the way, pitched 2 innings today for the Baltimore Orioles, gave up 1 hit and struck out 1. I mean, that was just he was coming off the back side of the pitcher's mound, really didn't follow through on his throw. Smartly, Ozzie Albies did not make a honest try, because if he does, he probably collides into the runner. That's all we need is another wrist injury because of a bad throw. First pitch on inside to Aranda. This is for a ball. It's 1-0. 1-0. Swung on, comebacker. Ozzie Albies has to wait for it. Flips it over to first. That will score the run. So the error leads to a run, and the Braves trail 2-1. Runner at first heads to second, 2 away. Two down. Pitch on the way and chopped off his instep. Caballero is the batter. He really got might have got a piece of his ankle. He is hopping around. Appears to be okay. It's 0-1. The 0-1, as they give him time to make sure he's okay. Home plate umpire just dusting off home plate. The 0-1 down and away. Misses below the knees on the outer edge. 1-1. 1-1 count. Pitch right there for a strike. Bit of a low strike on the outer edge, 1-2. The 1-2. Munoz kicks and fires. Down below the knees, 2-2. The 2-2 count. Brings it down and away. Full count. That little ringing sound that you heard a second ago is me finding the Ozzy video, and we're going to share here in a second. 3-2 pitch swung on, banged over to third. It's going to be a 5-3 putout, and that'll end the inning. So the Braves give up one, trail it 2-1. We'll grab the bat setting at the top of the fourth. Here's the Ozzy and the fish video we were talking about. Welcome back. Tampa Bay Rays made another pitching change. On him here in 1 second. It's a right-hander to face Michael Harris the second. First pitch swinging. He hits it high. Deep into center field. Left center going back. Making a leaping grab at the wall. Slamming into the Hard Rock sign. Wow, what a defensive stop there. Tampa Bay center fielder DeLuca had to leap as he made the catch, slammed into the wall out there, almost knocked his hat off. First pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna, swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 0-1. Harris gave that thing a ride. I did notice right before pregame, I wasn't 100% sure if because the information's a little spotty in the spring. That's the best way to put it. As the 0-1's fouled out of play 0-2. It said that the wind is blowing in at Charlotte Park, home of the Rays, at about 9-10 miles an hour. Without that wind, that ball leaves the stadium. The 0-2, outside wide, 1-2. Good to see Charles. I feel like this is the first time we've seen you this spring, but I'm not 100% sure. It gets a little mixed together considering all that we've got going on here at the house. The 1-2. Hammered over to third, but an atom ball. Diving stop. Nice play by the third baseman there for the Tampa Bay Rays. Meade to away. So not only is he hitting .769, he's over there picking and grinning the Gold Glove here in the spring. Uceta is the pitcher. As the first pitch on the way to Cooper is a swing and miss strike. It's 0-1. Edwin Uceta, 27-year-old from the DR, Dominican Republic. Isn't everybody? The 0-1 misses outside, 1-1. Played for the Dodgers in 2021. Arizona in 2022, the Mets in 23, and the Rays last year. The 1-2 misses. He's been in and out of the minors since 2016. The 1-2, swing and a miss, and the bottom dropped out of that one. That'll end the inning. So Braves trail it 2-1. A couple of hard hit balls, but nothing to show for it. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Trying to get me to see your view about how maybe sometimes it's not the right time. Shut up. Shut up. We're saying Merry Christmas. If you don't like it, shut up and step aside. Not 1 inch, okay?
In there, strike 3, and he has hooked.
In 1981, a 20-year-old left-hander with a funky windup and a confounding breaking ball burst onto the scene and created a phenomenon so rare it ultimately bore his name, Fernando Mania.
Valenzuela is great. I love him. He's the greatest, and I think everybody here has Fernando fever.
Fernando Valenzuela did not possess a blazing fastball, but his screwball befuddled hitters.
Valenzuela delivers. Screwball got him swinging.
His delivery added to his allure. Fernando would lift his arms up over his head, then briefly turn his gaze to the bill of his cap before striding towards home plate.
In there, strike 3, and he has hooked out the side.
Fernando started opening day for the Dodgers in 1981 and went on to win each of his first 8 starts, 5 via shutout, posting a 0.50 ERA to begin the season. He ultimately became the first player, and still the only, to win Rookie of the Year and Cy Young in the same season. Although others came before him, Fernando Valenzuela established himself as the first Mexican superstar in the major leagues. Starring in LA made him an icon.
He was their hero, which was great. They needed a hero, and he represented their country in the highest degree of class, dignity, and character.
Fernando made 6 All-Star teams throughout his career, eventually becoming more workhorse than wonderkind. He led the NL with 21 wins and 20 complete games in 1986. And on April 27, 1990, in his final season with the Dodgers, he threw a no-hitter against the Cardinals.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter.
Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. Buck Farmer, the pitcher. First pitch on the way to Palacios, swung on. That ball's roasted down the right field line, hammered down into the corner, right field corner. De La Cruz has a long way to go to get there, and it's going to be a leadoff triple for Palacios and the Tampa Bay Rays. Buck Farmer is definitely one of the guys I'm pulling for this spring. If nothing else, because he grew up an Atlanta Braves fan. Buck is 34 years old. Righty-righty matchup with Jansen, the hind catcher, swinging a miss over the top. It's 0-1. Not only is he from Conyers, Georgia, he went to college at Georgia Tech, so he has always dreamed of playing for the Atlanta Braves. As the 0-1, down and away, 1-1. He said he kind of gave up on the dream or thought it may come much later in his career, but he always wanted to pitch for the Braves. He is on a very club-friendly deal, and I do think he's going to make the team. The 1-1, swing and a miss, 1-2. You look at his numbers last year, I mean, they jumped off his 3.04 ERA, but even more so, it's the 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2. The opposing batting average was just .215. He had a 1.2 whip. And very similar numbers in 2023. In 2022, even lower than that. So this is not, the thing about him is the 2-2 swung on, lifted high, deep into left field, going back on the track, just foul. Hops over the fence. Giving chase out there was Marisnik. I mean, there's not much room out there in the corner here at the Tampa Bay Rays spring training park, and I don't know how he fit it there, but that foul ball went left of the chalk and right of the very very short area and the very short fence out there, which Marisnik flipped over. The 2-2 swung on, swatted into left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. And the Tampa Bay Rays lead it 3-1. His biggest drawback that everybody has had against Farmer, and it's the reason why it took so long for him to get signed, was that he does not have what is considered a high strikeout rate for a reliever. First pitch on the way to DeLuca, the number 9 hitter's inside for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1. But it's not like he is just a junk ball pitcher that gets a lot of contact. You're talking about a low batting average. He still had 70 strikeouts in 71 innings. The 0-1 swung on, fouled off the shoulder of the home plate umpire. Might have actually gotten his arm. He is smarting. He is walking around, but he's in between home plate and the pitching mound trying to walk it off, but it looks like he's in pretty bad pain. One of the Tampa Bay Rays staff is now heading out there to check on him. Looked like it got him on his left forearm. But all in all, if you look at Farmer's strikeout rate, over the last several years, he's about a strikeout an inning. So a lot of your relievers, you're looking for much higher than that, like 1.5 or so. But when you consider you'd probably bring him in low leverage situations, I don't think that's a terrible deal. It actually got him on the right arm. Looked like it got a little higher, and he's going to stay in the game, but I think it might have just absolutely stung his arm to where he didn't have any feeling over there because there wasn't a lot of a range of motion. He's back behind the plate, so we'll go back to it. The 0-2 swung on, chops it over to third. It's going to be a 5, 4, 3. Oh, almost got it, double play. DeLuca just beats it out. I was about to say that is Farmer's forte, is that he does induce a lot of ground balls, a lot of double plays. So kind of look at him as a better numbers, but the same type of pitcher as a right-handed version of Aaron Bummer, where he comes in and he can strike you out, but he's really more of a ground ball pitcher. First pitch on the way is right there on the inner cut. It's 1-0. The 1-0. That's right, Robert. 20 more days until the fantasy baseball draft. The 1-0 down below the knees. 2-0. Hope all is well there, Charles. So a 1-1 count. Swung on. Dropped over towards second. Ozzy's got really nowhere to go. Did he get him? He's going to get the 4-1 put out to away. He was looking for a double play. The ball bounced in between first base and second. So Cooper made a stab at it, couldn't get it. Ozzy goes to grab it. There's no way he's going to get the runner going first to second. He turns around, and Farmer did cover the bag just in time. I didn't think he was going to have time to get over there. Trump's going out there to talk to Farmer, but I really think that's just to get him to catch his breath after covering second of there. There was almost a collision between Farmer and the runner. I haven't checked out how Minter's doing because he's injured. So he signed with the Mets, but he's not expected to pitch anytime soon. I don't think they even have him stretching out in spring. That was one of the reasons why his deal was so tricky for anybody to pick up, because you're really overpaying him for next year. First pitch on the way to Jimenez is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. In a perfect world, the Mets hope to have Minter back mid-season, and then it's not a terrible difference. It was 2 years, 22, but I got to see it to believe it, because these relievers, or these pitchers in general, whenever they tell you X amount of months, you can usually tack on a few more. 1-1 count to Eloy Jimenez. I swear, this Eloy Jimenez signing by the Rays, it is such a Rays signing. Like, they'll find the magic potion to get him back out there slamming the ball around. 1-1 down and away, 2-1. The 2-1 count. Braves trail 3-1. Kicks and fires. Just misses. Good sinker pitch there. And when Buck Farmer is really pitching well, that is his pitch. That is the one, it looks like a fastball all the way, then it just kind of dives just below your knees and you bang into the ground. The 3-1. Outside wide, ball 4. But I do believe Buck Farmer is going to make the team, assuming health. He's a veteran out there that can spell. He's more of a guy you're going to bring in 6th and 7th inning. He's not really a back of the bullpen guy. You got to have more strikeout stuff to bring in a back end. But in certain situations, and you need a double play late in the game, he's someone you can go to. First pitch on the way is a swing and a miss strike. It's 0-1. He was a little late in the camp, so he may not be as warmed up as some of the other relievers. So you can't take what he's doing right now as what he's going to look like come opening day. The 0-1 bang foul, 0-2. Oh, man, Charles, that is awful. God bless you, brother. The 0-2. Low the batter. Batting third. The 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. 1-2. Yeah, Tyler Matzik, by the way, is with the Yankees organization. People haven't picked up on that. I don't know if he's going to make their team or not, but we'll see how that plays out. 2-2 count. That pitch misses outside. Deuces wild. Runners on first and second. 2 outs. So 2 on, 2 outs. The 2-2 count. Swing! That ball's hammered off the knee of Tromp. He goes down like a shot. Let's hope he's okay. Might have been just north of his knees. Definitely in the right thigh area. He's getting up and walking it off, shaking his head. I'd like to see a slow down replay to see where that actually got him. Still checking on Tromp. So essentially, what I was saying about Minter is the Braves spending $22 million on a guy that best case scenario would be back in August is kind of dopey when you think of the Braves' finances and what they're trying to do here in 2025. The 2-2 swung on, chopped in between home and first. It's rolling slow, and is it going to stay fair? Just fair. You got to be kidding me. That thing rolled down the line and then tight-roped on the white chalk. Farmer let it go because it was his only real chance. He was hoping it would go foul as the runner ran by him. If he tried to make the play, there was going to be just a disaster. So the bases will be loaded with 2 outs. And that'll be it for Farmer. He hit his pitch count, and we'll head to the Head to break. When we come back, bases loaded, 2 outs. Still just in the 4th inning here on Spring Training Baseball.
You are the best idea man.
Also, we're canceling all of your ongoing projects.
What about the Pawnee River Dam?
Dam's dead.
Where will all the water go?
Wherever it's headed now. The important thing is the dam is never happening, and your dream has been crushed.
We're very sorry.
I am not. Good meeting.
Everybody that goes to AA claims to be alcoholics. Well, how come I'm the only one that brought some beer?
There was a great story. Lisa Newhouse Saxon, who was a colleague of mine at the LA Daily News, she was covering the Dodgers and the Angels at a time when female sports reporters were pretty much banned. They were shunned. And she was at a game in Cincinnati covering the Dodgers, and she wanted to go into the locker room to do a story about Mario Soto. And they kicked her out of the locker room. The Reds people just had enough and sent her back. So she was just depressed. And the next day, she'd get on the team bus, and Vin was sitting there, and Vin said, "Come here, sit next to me." So she does, and Vin just said to her, you know, without even saying what happened with the incident, he goes, "Who is it do you want to be like as a sports reporter?" She goes, "Oh, this guy is so popular and this guy is really good." And Vin just said, "You know, you should really just be your authentic self. Just be Lisa." And from that, it gave her this great sense of confidence. And she actually she lived near him in Brentwood, and she went to church with him. He invited her to come to church with him, and it was just one of those blessings that you can't make up. And when Vin was inducted into the Baseball Reliquary, which is this great event we have out in Pasadena every year, Lisa did the acceptance speech for him and told that story. And I knew about that story, so Lisa just that was her go-to story about Vin, this tomboy who grew up listening and wanting to play baseball, and how everyone says don't meet your heroes. And she said, no, this hero was much greater than all I could imagine.
The umpire just stood up and said goodbye. As I am saying goodbye, I have said enough for a lifetime. And for the last time, I wish you all a very pleasant good afternoon.
Welcome back. Hughes is your right-handed pitcher. The first pitch was a strike. It's on 1 to Meade. The 0-1 down and away, 1-1. Curtis Meade, 10 for 13 this spring. 2 walks, a .769 average, 1 home run. 1-1. Swung on, chops it over towards second. Ozzy's got it. Kind of a funny hop, but he's stuck with it. Fires it over to first, and that'll end the inning. So 3-1 your score. We head to the top of the 5th here in Braves country. Braves will grab the bats. On this date in baseball history. March 3rd, 1953. The Boston Braves owner Lou Perini invokes territorial privilege of the minor league Milwaukee Brewers, blocking a potential move by Bill Veeck to move his St. Louis Browns to the Cream City. In 15 days, the National League will approve the move of his club from Boston to Milwaukee, the first relocation of a major league franchise since 1903, when the Baltimore Orioles moved to New York to become the Highlanders and eventually the New York Yankees. On March 3rd, 1959, Candlestick Park is the winning entry in the new San Francisco Giants Name the Park contest, selected by the sports editors of San Francisco's 4 daily newspapers for more than 20,000 entries. Initially called Bayview Stadium, the ballpark's new name reflects the shape of the rocks in the area known as Candlestick Point. And on this date in 1988, upset by a practical joke played by teammate Jesse Orozco, Dodger slugger Kirk Gibson walks out of camp for a day. The former New York Met and relief pitcher for the Dodgers had put eye black on Gibson's cap. Later that year, Kirk Gibson would hit the walk-off home run that would live in infamy versus the Oakland A's in the Fall Classic. And on March 3rd, 2016, experts announced that they have verified the legitimacy of 7 identical Ty Cobb cards from the printing period of 1909 to 1911, bringing the total number known to existence to 22. The treasure features a picture of the Georgia peach on the front with the words Ty Cobb, King of the Smoking Tobacco World on the back. They were found in a paper bag by relatives who were cleaning the house that belonged to their great-grandfather. And that's your Braves Country Radio on this date in baseball history. Welcome back. First pitch on the way to De La Cruz is swung on and fouled back. Left-hander Montgomery in the game. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Mason Montgomery, the new pitcher. 24-year-old southpaw. 6 foot 295 pounds. He's out of Austin, Texas. Played his college ball at Texas Tech. The 0-2. Inside misses. 1-2. This guy sounds like either a country music singer or an old Texas outlaw. Mason Jack Montgomery. That guy was not going to be a librarian with that name. The 1-2. Bang foul. We'll do it again. The 1-2 count. Drafted by the Rays back in 2021. The 1-2's in the dirt, 2-2. He did make 9 appearances for the Rays last year, and in those 9 2/3 innings, 1.86 ERA, so pretty darn good. The 2-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Bender down and in, looked like a slider. 1 away. And the left-hander, in those 9 appearances, the opponent's batting average was 188 with a 1.14 whip. I'm telling you, Tampa develops young arms better than anybody on the planet. First pitch on the way to Orlando Arcia is up top for a strike. It's 0-1. Orlando Arcia still hitless in the spring. It's a 222 OPS. The 0-1. Down and away, 1-1. A 1-1 count. Rays 3, Braves 1. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fisted back foul, 1-2. Orioles lead the Red Sox 4-0. That game is in the 5th. The 1-2. Caught, looking strike 3. Fastball pounded on the inside track, and Arcia never got the bat off his shoulders. 2 away. 2 down. Lefty-righty matchup. First pitch on the way to Chadwick Trump is swung on and hit high. Deep into center field, but camping underneath it is DeLuca just before the warning track in left center, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. Pretty nifty inning by Mason Jack Montgomery. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Sometimes I think, and then I forget.
We told you don't put that in the macaroni and cheese, but you insist on putting it. So since you want to do things your damn way, we're going to do it our way. We getting ready to go upstairs and go to sleep while you clean up all this Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We love you. But guess what? You couldn't even get a decent thing of macaroni and cheese because you decided to do some bullshit you done seen off the damn internet. Don't experiment on damn Thanksgiving. Don't experiment on Thanksgiving. You experiment by your damn self.
Don't kiss your wife with a runny nose. You may think it's funny, but it's not.
Suspect doesn't believe in Santa, but believes in the Cowboys every year.
Jerry Jones. Suspects lost faith in humanity, but not the Cleveland Browns.
We got invited to a social gathering, which is the same thing as a party, except there's less fun and more cheese plates. I'm an introvert, so I park myself by the chips and salsa station while my wife goes around smiling at everyone like she's in a toothpaste commercial. She's supernatural at these things. She's like, you need to smile like you're not constipated. All right, you got to show people your teeth when you smile. I'm like, dude, I'm not just going to greet a stranger and then show them all of my teeth. That'll get us invited back. I am not a wolf.
There's 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Dwight Clark! It's a madhouse at Candlestick with 51 seconds left. Dwight Clark is 6'4". He stands about 10 feet tall in this crowd's estimation.
We are bringing you pitch by pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves all year long. Braves Country Radio, your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. Aaron Bummer coming on for your Atlanta Braves here in the bottom of the 5th. He's set to face Aranda, Caballero, and Palacios. Lefty-lefty matchup, first pitch on the way. Right there for a strike, it's 0-1. Go ahead and hit the out-of-town scoreboard real quick. Your American Rebel out-of-town scoreboard looks like this. Orioles lead the Red Sox 5-0 here in the 5th inning. Blue Jays and Tigers, Toronto up 6-0 in the 5th. Marlins 2-0 over the Astros in the 5th. Later on today is the 0-2. Caught looking strike 3. Got him with the floater in there on the inside track. Looked like his slider. It's almost a slurve that he's throwing this spring. One away. Good pitch. When you're a left-handed hitter and you are sitting there from Aaron Bummer's long delivery like that from the left side, that ball's got to look like it's coming from the dugout. Caballero, the batter, first pitch, swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Later on today, out in the Cactus League, 3:05 first pitch, you got the A's and White Sox, Rangers and Royals, Cubs and Diamondbacks at 3:10, Guardians and Mariners at 3:10, Rockies and Angels as well as the 0-1, right there on the intercut, 0-2. Tonight, you're looking for spring training games. Marlins and Mets are at 6:10. 0-2. Just misses, I guess, on the outside track. His curveball, he's really got it working today. 1-2. Yankees and Pirates at 6:35, and the Brewers and Reds at 8:05. The 1-2 dribbled over to second. Ozzy's got it, flips it over to first, and it's a 4-3 put out, 2 away. Remember, the Braves extended Aaron Bummer and Joe Jimenez in the offseason. That was one of the first things that they did. Now, instantly, Jimenez had surgery, and there's a big question mark on whether or not he'll be back this year. First pitch on the way to Palacios is inside for a strike. It's 0-1. They're hoping Jimenez could be back as early as late July, but my thought is that we'd be lucky to see him in August, even September. The 0-1 down one away, 1-1. From the time frame of when he had the surgery, he could in theory be there in the beginning of July, but you know that's not going to happen. 1-1, chopped in between short and second. Arcia trying to do that slide again. I think he's trying to make the highlight reel. That ball went under his glove once again, and it's going to be an infield single. Unless, don't believe they're going to give him an error on that. It's going to be a tough play. He's trying to slide and scoop it and turn and fire it to first. We've seen him do that a lot in the past, but he's getting there a day late and $1 short, and it just looks like a big league. A little league play gone wrong. The 2 times he's done it today, or tried to do it. First pitch on the way to Jansen is sinker down and away. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Bummer, his 12th pitch of the outing. Outside wide ball 2-0. 2-0 count. Braves will have Marisnik, LeBlanc, and Ozzy Albies due up. You would think they would get another at bat. The 2-0 swung on, chops it over towards third, making the play. 5-3 put out. Good nifty play by LeBlanc, flipping it over to Cooper, and that'll end the inning. So the Rays get one on, but that's it. We'll be back in a flash. Braves trail by only 2 here on Braves Country.
Well, guys, I didn't believe it was true, but my husband is taking away my rights.
No.
Yes. Yes, it is. Every day, just less and less.
No.
The less yes.
That's not what I said. I said you can't have any more dogs.
It's kind of insane.
I'm sitting here at work and I'm thinking to myself, I'm about to stop partying with black people. Y'all don't make enough memories like white folks. See, nowadays when you go to black parties, you got to be on guard. White people just live life to the fullest, don't give a See, white people really got this life thing down pat when it comes to these parties. You only got one life. You might as well say it, right? Black man would have been like, nah, sweat it. We've been in the club all night. White people say you only got one life. I love partying with white people. They gonna make it fun before you even leave the house.
Are y'all really out here shaving your heads? What the Listen, Linda. And I'm like, y'all crazy. From day one, son. I don't give a rat's monkey's ass. I ain't scalping myself for no And then he talking about not getting none. You know what? You're gonna need a can of Raid to get the cobwebs off that before this over with. Y'all done lost your whole ass minds and then some. You just sitting around on a random Tuesday. I'm gonna Britney Spears myself and then cry about it. Cry about it. You're gonna wake up one day and be like, I'm a bald bitch for no reason. Y'all have a great day. I can't wait.
Ball game at Shea.
Oh, brother.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it. If one picture is worth 1,000 words, you have seen about 1,000,000 words. But more than that, you have seen an absolutely bizarre finish to Game 6 of the 1986 World Series.
Welcome back. Marisnick, the number 8 hitter, righty-righty matchup with Englert coming into the game. First pitch swinging, bangs it over to third. It's going to be an easy 5-3 put out. Hard hit ball, one away. Marisnick, if you missed it earlier, he's the only RBI for the Atlanta Braves. We've only had 2 hits. The first one was a leadoff single in the first inning by Ozzie Albies. Marisnick hit the game-tying solo home run his first time up. First pitch on the way to LeBlanc is on the inside part of the plate for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 brings it. Chops it foul, 0-2. An 0-2 count. Braves trail 3-1. We're back here tomorrow, 1:05 first pitch. Braves versus what people are calling the new and improved Minnesota Twins. The 0-2. Up top, misses 1-2. I got to see that to believe it, but that's what everybody's claiming. The 1-2. Englert brings it. Swung on. Chopped over towards short. It's going to be a 6-3 put out. 2 down. That'll bring the top of the order back up. Ozzie Albies, who's batting just 125 this spring with an 250 OPS, will stand in. Michael Harris on deck. In the hole is Marcell Ozuna. Top of the 6th inning. First pitch. Outside wide righty-lefty matchup. It's 1-0. Ozzie standing from the left side of the plate. Switch hitter. Open stance. 28-year-old from Curacao. 1-0 misses way outside. 2-0. It's hard to believe Ozzie Albies debuted way back in 2017. The 2-0. Nowhere near up top, almost pitch out territory. 3-0. That is the one guy that I'd love to see them extend this year. The 3-0 right down the pipe, 3-1. Some of these guys aren't going to make a lot of sense to try to extend, but Ozzie Albies, he just needs to retire in Atlanta Braves. That's the one guy that his personality, we would lose so much in that clubhouse without him. The 3-1 pitch is outside wide, ball 4. So he'll head on down to first. Braves trail 3-1. Now the tying run will come to the plate, and Michael Harris. They're going to pinch run for Ozzie. First pitch on the way is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. Kicks and fires, swing and a miss. 1-1. One count. Jose Devers is the man on first. The pitch swung on, chops it over towards second. Backhanded, 4-3 putout, and that'll end the inning. So Ozzie works his way aboard, and Michael Harris dribbles into another out. The Braves just 2 hits on the day. We head to the bottom of the 6th, trailing by only 2.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Today drained me.
The game right now is at the plate. High fly ball into right field. She is gone! In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
To all the celebrities that said they were going to leave the United States, we'll help you pack.
Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone. What a marvelous moment for baseball. What a marvelous moment for Atlanta and the state of Georgia. What a marvelous moment for the country and the world. A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South for breaking a record of an all-time baseball idol. And it is a great moment for all of us, and particularly for Henry Aaron, who was met at home plate not only by every member of the Braves, but by his father and mother. He threw his arms around his father, and as he left the home plate area, his mother came running across the grass, threw her arms around his neck, kissed him for all she was worth. Tremendous strain and relief of what it must have been like to live with for the past several months. It is over. At 10 minutes after 9 in Atlanta, Georgia, Henry Aaron has eclipsed the mark set by Babe Ruth.
You're listening to Braves Country Radio with Mac Magee, the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. Braves trail this one 3-1. That's the bad news. The good news is we are 24 days away from opening day. You didn't see the update on our page. We are doing a 2025 preview of the entire league. It's the first pitch on the way from De Los Santos is the new right-hander in. Is popped back foul out of play down the first base line. It's 0-1. DeLuca standing in for the Rays. Number 9 hitter, so it'll flip over We are starting to see some substitutions. Smith standing on deck. The 0-1's foul back. It's 0-2. Oh, 2 count. Down and away, 1-2. The 1-2. Inside, caught, looking, strike 3. Looked like a high sinker, 1 away. 1 down. De Los Santos is one of the guys that is trying to get on here in the bullpen. We've got about 3 spots open, and how they do over the next couple of weeks is going to be a big factor. You got to figure right now, if you look at the schedule, as the first pitch on the way, chopped back foul, it's 0-1. Righty-righty matchup. Aiden Smith, the batter, 20-year-old. Drafted by the Mariners in 2023. I believe he came over in the part of the deal when Randy Arozareno headed to Seattle. The 0-1 hits the outer corner. It's 0-2. The 0-2 to Smith. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Blew it right by him. 2 away. And to be 20 years old and that close to the doorstep of the major leagues. Jimenez will get pinch hit for Rovert. They're usually one of the hind catchers for the Tampa Bay Rays stands in. We're doing a preview. I'm going to double check, make sure I've got the date and time right on that. I believe we settled on, there it is. It'll be the Tuesday before opening day. So 2 days before opening day is the first pitch on the way. Swung on, chopped foul. It's 0-1. We're going to do it at noon Eastern time because the Braves do technically play a game against the Cubs later on that afternoon in the Cactus League as they head west towards San Diego to start the season. 0-1 misses inside 1-1. But it's a game that we no longer carry because there's so many backups in and there's so many substitutions. The game lasted almost 5 hours last year. The 1-1, foul back 1-2. And it's no one of note is going to be in the game, so there's really no reason. I mean, I hate to say this, but there's really no reason to even keep up with it. Unless your kid is playing in that game, it's a brutal game to watch. The 1-2, swung on, fouled away. We'll do it again. But we didn't want to do it during the Braves game. The original plan was we were going to do it after that day, but then they decided sometime in late January, early February that they were going to finish out in the Cactus League as they headed to San Diego. It was the 1-2. Caught, looking, strike 3. Fastball up there. Got him right across the chest and over the plate, and that'll end the inning. Braves will head to the top of the 7th. We need a couple of runs, y'all, here in Braves country. Grapefruit League action.
Just checking in on all you bald-headed 4B biddies. Just wondering how y'all are doing. Did you guys come down from your manic episode yet? Come to terms? Come to realization that you made a poor decision? Thanks for making yourself easily identifiable.
There are some sites that people have gone to that pinged us for red flags. There's certain places we can't be going to on the computers anymore, guys.
But if you press clear, it goes away.
It doesn't go away.
Not really.
What? Here's the problem. What I found out.
What? What is clear for? No. Clear history.
The clear history button, what it actually does is sends the history up the chain of command.
But they can't do that. That's not what clear means. No. That's not what clear means.
That's entrapment. Don't. Here's what's very distressing about Naughty Grandmas. It is a pro contributor account.
Yes, please. I won't do it. Just please don't out me and let them know that I'm not a real grandma.
Have you always drank this much?
No. Went for 11 straight years without a drink.
What happened?
Turned 12.
If the men find out we can shapeshift, they're going to tell the church.
In 1981, a 20-year-old left-hander with a funky windup and a confounding breaking ball burst onto the scene and created a phenomenon so rare it ultimately bore his name, Fernando Mania.
Valenzuela is great. I love him. The Dodgers are #1.
He's the greatest, and I think everybody here has Fernando fever.
Fernando Valenzuela did not possess a blazing fastball, but his screwball, thrown by pronating his elbow to create movement in the opposite direction, befuddled hitters.
Valenzuela delivers. Screwball got him swinging.
His delivery added to his allure. Fernando would lift his arms up over his head, then briefly turn his gaze to the bill of his cap for striding towards home plate.
Welcome back. Top of the 7th we go. First pitch on the way from the new right-hander in the game for the Tampa Bay Rays. Orze is called for a strike at the bottom of the zone to Bunnell. It's 0-1. Bunnell in for Cooper. He'll stay in to play first base. The 0-1 is called for another strike on the outer edge. 0-2. 0-2 count. Braves trail by 2. The pitch. Caught looking, strike 3. I mean, good Lord. If you're wearing number 91 and Matt Olson is playing in front of you, and on top of that we have Garrett Cooper, you might want to think about swinging that bat there, Bunnell. You're not going to get a lot of opportunities. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 3 straight pitches, not one single swing by Bunnell. First pitch on the way, swung on and smoked over towards second by Milligan, who's in for De La Cruz, but it'll be an L4 in the scorecard. Leaping defensive stop by the second baseman that just came on for the Rays, Westbrook. 2 down. 2 down. It's like Milligan's coming on. He came in and played outfield recently, and not only did he swing a couple of good pitches, but he also had a couple of good defensive plays out there in the outfield. 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. 0-2 count. Cloud coverage all over Tampa Bay's Charlotte Park. The 0-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. That'll end the inning. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Get up and stretch, Braves country. It's 3-1 Tampa here in the Grapefruit League. Welcome back. Partly sunny skies here at Charlotte Park. Tampa Bay Rays home stadium. They're going to be playing their home games in the Yankees Stadium in Tampa Bay this year, as if you remember the hurricane that destroyed their home park. So for the first time, we'll see Tampa Bay Ray home games outside, and honestly, it's going to be a hitter's park. First pitch on the way. It's up top, first strike, it's 0-1. It's going to be a weird setting because you're going to be in the Yankees, I believe they call it Steinbrenner Field. Is the 0-1, misses high, 1-1. So there will definitely be several games where the Yankees are the road team in their own spring training facility. 1-1 count as the new pitcher on, Anderson Pilar, fires a pitch in there for a strike. It's 1-2. 27-year-old Pilar out of the Dominican Republic. Been in the minors since 2017, but has yet to reach the bigs. Over that stretch, he has a 2.86 ERA. Career ERA. 2.64 last year, 3.07 the year before. The 1-2. Misses high. 2-2. Last year, as the 2-2 pitch, misses up top, full count. He finished the season with the Marlins organization in Jacksonville in their AAA Jumbo Shrimp affiliate. 3-2 down below the knees. Just misses. Did look like he missed the zone, but you'd love to have had that call if you're Anderson Pilar. 1 on, nobody out to start the inning. There's a lot of belief that he could end up making the team, Pilar, but I think it's more likely he starts out in the minors. Get you caught up on what has happened with the Braves. Hector Neris is the first pitch to Taylor, misses high and out of the zones, 1-0. Hector Neris was added to the big league camp of the Atlanta Braves. Is the 1-0, misses high, 2-0. He's hoping to have a chance to make the team. That'll bring the roster to 49 as the 2-0 swung on, pops it up, can of corn high in the sky over at third base. Camping underneath it, making the catch is third baseman, who is now in for LeBlanc Batten. 1 away. But with the big news this morning, in case you're just joining us, Sean Murphy is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks with cracked ribs. Happened on the Friday game where he was hit in the back, if you were with us. And I guess they let it, want to see what the swelling was before they did anything, and they announced it this morning. Because it's not as much of a... Your feet aren't held to the fire to make the announcements as much in spring ball as you are when you have a roster put together for a real game. The 0-1 misses outside wide, 1-1. 1-1 count. Here's the pitch from Pilar. Swing and a miss. Good bite to that sinker, 1-2. Guess we got to start a GoFundMe for Jason. The 1-2. Kicks and brings it. Benner down and away. Strike 3, 2 away. 2 down. The Rays will send Murray to the plate, the shortstop. He is in for Caballero. The Braves have made a lot of substitutions as well, but we're going to kind of get to them as they appear because there's so many. There's no way you're going to be able to keep up with it. First pitch on the way. It's right there for a strike. It's 0-1. Casali is behind the plate, by the way, so I don't believe Leon or Baldwin made the trip over. And if either one of them did, they weren't expected to play today. The 0-1. Outside wide, 1-1. One count. Braves 1, Rays 3, bottom 7. Tampa Bay with 1 on, 2 out. Here's the pitch. Swung on and chopped. Foul. Third base side over near the tarps. Tampa Bay does not have a ball boy or ball girl out there today, so someone's got to go corral that real quick. The 1-2. Pilar, 18th pitch, in the dirt, gets away. It's going to skip to the backstop. And the runner at first will head on down to second. The Rays have another runner in scoring position, up 3-1. The 2-2. Righty-righty matchup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and dribbled over to short. It's going to be a 6-3 putout on the play if you're scoring at home. That's Cairo to Bunnell. We'll be back in a flash. Braves trail by 2. We head to the 8th here in Braves country.
Well, what can I say? You know, I'm just the type of guy who tells it like it is. And sometimes, just between me and you, I tell it like it isn't.
People can't say, wow, she's really let herself go. If I never had it to begin with, you know, it's a perfect crime.
Remember, spread your cheeks could be another way to say smile. Until we meet again.
Is there any bigger lie in a marriage than when you wake up your snoring husband on the couch and he looks you dead in the eye and says, I wasn't sleeping?
In there, strike 3, and he has struck out the side.
Fernando started opening day for the Dodgers in 1981 and went on to win each of his first 8 starts, 5 via shutout, posting a 0.50 ERA to begin the season. He ultimately became the first player, and still the only, to win Rookie of the Year and Cy Young in the same season. Although others came before him, Fernando Valenzuela established himself as the first Mexican superstar in the major leagues. Starring in LA made him an icon.
He was their hero, which was great. They needed a hero, and he represented their country in the highest degree of class, dignity, and character. Fernando made 6 All-Star teams throughout his career. He led the NL with 21 wins and 20 complete games in 1986. And on April 27th, 1990, in his final season with the Dodgers, he threw a no-hitter against the Cardinals.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter.
After 5 additional stops, Fernando retired in 1997. He eventually returned to the Dodgers as a Spanish-language analyst for radio and TV broadcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fernando Valenzuela.
Your home for the classic call of Braves Country Baseball. Welcome back. New right-hander on for Tampa Bay. Hunter Biggie. First pitch on the way from the 26-year-old. Misses high to Cairo. It's 1-0. Hunter Bradford Biggie from Los Gatos, California, was drafted by the Cubs in 2019 out of Harvard. 1-0 right there, first strike. At the knees, 1-1. 1-1 count. Fastball right there, 1-2. I believe he came over in that trade with the Cubs last year. He had 19 games appeared in 2024 and had a 2.6 ERA. It was 4 with the Cubs and 15 with the Rays down the stretch. The 1-2 misses high, 2-2. They've been kind of in and out with that, with the radar gun, but it looks like he's throwing pretty good gas. The 2-2 swung on, chopped in between second and first, and that's going to be an Atlanta Brave base hit. Man, we haven't seen many of those today. Runner on first, nobody out. Cairo standing at first. Casali in for Chadwick Trump, the hind catcher for your Braves. Cairo takes off, pitch on the way, runs down, and he looks like he's got it. He does. Cairo steals the base, and how about that? Your Atlanta Braves got a runner in scoring position. He took off. Pretty good jump. He's got good speed, man. Cairo can absolutely fly. Pretty good throw, too, by the way, down to second base. The 0-1 is swung on and fouled away. 0-2. He just got in there. And honestly, if Westbrook holds the tag, Cairo's going to be out because he overslid the bag and didn't hold it. The 0-2. High and out of the zone. Just over his head. 1-2. 1-2 count. Braves 1, Tampa Bay 3. Tying run at the plate. The 2-1. In the dirt, 3-1. The 2-2. Biggie brings it. Swing, fouls it down the line. We'll do it once again. The 2-2 count. Braves and Twins tomorrow. 1:05 first pitch will be right here. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kind of a lazy, swing by Casali. Looked like he couldn't make up his mind if that was going to be one he wanted or not. By the time he figured it out, one away. 1 down. Quintero, who is in for Marisnik, the left fielder, stands in. Geraldo Quintero, 23-year-old out of Venezuela. He's been in the Braves organization since 2019 in the minors. Takes a swing at the first pitch, fouls it back. It's 0-1. So he came over when he was just 16. Part of the bonus pool, international bonus pool. The 0-1. Brings it up high and out of the zone. 1-1. If you remember, that was back when the Braves were really strapped for money in the bonus pool because of the shenanigans in front office pulled right before Anthopoulos was hired. Everyone got canned. As the 1-1, swing and a miss, 1-2. 1-2 count. Comes set, brings it, swing. That ball swatted down the line. We'll do it again. This is a road game for the Atlanta Braves, so most of the players in the everyday lineup did not make the trip. You'll see most of them in there tomorrow, as that is a home game. And they had such a good day yesterday, I think they just wanted to give Riley and Olsen, all those guys, some days off, especially the ones who've been swinging the bat well. Quintero had to go get a new bat. That ball, that bat was cracked in half. So back to work. 1-2 the count. 1 out. Runner on second. The pitch swung on. That ball's slap back foul behind home plate into the stands. We'll do it again. The 1-2. Cairo leading off the second. Here's the pitch. Swing! That ball's lifted high into right field, going back on the track. It's going to be caught on the warning track. On the play, Cairo will head from second to third to away. Quintero got good lift on the ball there. Once again, the wind's blowing in today, about 9 miles an hour. That may have done something to the ball there. The one earlier today that Harris almost knocked out, that was definitely knocked down by the wind. Looks like the wind's starting to slow down a little bit out there, but the original reports were 9 miles an hour blowing straight in. First pitch on the way to Batten, the number 9 hitter. Down there for a ball, it's 1-0. He's in for LeBlanc at third. Matthew Batten, 29-year-old. Drafted by the Padres in 2017. The 1-0. Wide strike on the low part of the zone, outer edge. 1-1. Played his college ball at Quinnipiac. See them quite a bit on college basketball. I did not know they had much of a baseball program. The 1-1 swung on and rolled over, and that's going to be an infield single, and that's going to score a run. So how about that? Braves have cut the lead in half, and it is now 3-2. Your Atlanta Braves. Good hard hit ball. Hard rolling ball that Taylor had to try to barehand. And Atlanta now down by just one. Runner at first, 2 outs. The first pitch is swung on by Conley, and he will line it into right field. Hard line drive, but right into the glove of the right fielder. And that'll end the inning. The Braves cut it in half. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. The Braves trail by only 1 here in Braves country.
Hey!
What's going down?
Well, I'll tell you what's going down.
What?
You know that they've installed a camera here at this red light here?
Oh my God!
Yeah, and it takes a picture whenever anybody runs a red light. You know
that's
that now,
awesome.
right?
It's like the future.
It is
here.
awesome.
So you know why we're
The
here.
photos. You know why we're here now, don't you?
Why? Was there a fire?
You've been charging $3. You run up when the car's at the red light, and you give a HJ during the red light.
That's not something that I would ever do.
No, except that we've got about
38 photographs of you, and that's only last night.
Well, I don't even know what you're talking
We're
about.
talking about you giving hand jobs, $3 a pop.
Okay, a hand job is still a job, okay?
She called me a piece of liar, and it was on.
It was on? What's that mean?
That means I got up in her face, and when I did, she grabbed me by the hair, and when she grabbed me by the hair and we went down, I punched her in the mouth. She pushed me, and I went off.
Did you hit her with a can of corn?
Can of corn.
She grabs a can of corn, and she hit me, and I saw stars. And then I looked on the floor, there was corn everywhere. I didn't even know I was bleeding.
Yeah, Timmy said that you're a redneck. That's
Yes,
what he said,
I
because
am.
he said you jumped on her like a grown man.
She hit me.
Yeah, you have every right to defend yourself, but he said you took care of yourself pretty well.
Yeah, until I got hit with a can of corn.
One of my first practice sessions with him, he was wide left and wide right, and I'm going, and I'm watching, and not saying a whole lot, trying to just watch him and learn. And he looked at me and he goes, "What'd you think of that session?" And I said, "Well, to be honest with you, I didn't think it was very good." He goes, "I didn't either." And he come out the next day, didn't miss his target one time, hit it every single time. He did that on purpose. I guarantee you, he wanted to know if I was going to be a pitching coach, like any 99% of the others would have told him, "Oh, don't worry, it's the first day. We're just getting loose, blah, 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 blah," But I told him the truth. We hit it off after that.
Help support Braves Country Radio. Join the country club today. Welcome back. First pitch on the way from Pilar, who's back out there for another inning. Fastball misses high and outside. It's 1-0. Looking at the Braves' top prospects, they've released the new rankings. Is the 1-0 right up top for a strike, 1-1. Drake Baldwin is the number one prospect, and I don't know if that was elevated because of the injury to Sean Murphy, but that's what they have him ranked at right now. That it just broke about 90 minutes ago. They released it. 1-1 misses, 2-1. Cam Caminiti has been slid down to the number 2 prospect, but most people believe he's the number 1. 2-1 inside, 3-1. Now, they're not expecting Cam Caminiti to arrive on the scene for another 2 or 3 years. A.J. Smith-Shawver and Hurston Waldrop ranked 3 and 4. Is the 3-1 outside wide. Ball 4. So Pilar goes out there for a second inning. He's got 24 pitches in him. Kind of a lengthy outing. Kind of tells me he's not trending in making the opening day roster. They might be getting him stretched out a little bit to be a long man down in the minors. Rounding out the top 5 is Nacho Alvarez. First pitch on the way is swung on and sliced back foul. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Sinker down on the outer edge, 0-2. Drew Hackenberg is the number 6 rated prospect for the Braves, and they expect him to make some kind of a showing, right-handed pitcher this year in Braves country. The 0-2. In the dirt, 1-2. Owen Murphy, he is ranked number 7th, and he was much higher and expected to be on the scene much earlier, but Tommy John surgery has thwarted that, along with J.R. Ritchie, who's number 8. Garrett Bauman, all these are right-handed pitchers at number 9. The 1-2, down and away, 2-2. Jose Perdomo, young shortstop, is number 10, and a lot of folks are going to start talking about him, but they're not expecting him to make Braves country till 2029. The 2-2 swing and a miss, strike 3. Good pitch by Pilar, 1 away. It's kind of your top 10. We haven't really talked about that in a while. Roddy Munoz is ranked number 22nd. We saw him today. Other guys are expected to participate this year on the Braves' top 30 prospects. Ian Mejia, he's ranked 25th. And Carlos Rodriguez is ranked 30th. He's an outfielder. I don't realistically see him making the Braves roster unless we have a ton of injuries. Now, he could get moved. The 1-0. In the dirt, 2-0. Misner, the batter, number 9 hitter. And he is on for DeLuca. Standing on deck is Smith, who came in for Lowe. Braves trail by 1. We're in the bottom of the 8th. The 2-0. Swung on, chopped over in just past the sliding, diving glove of our second baseman, Conley. Went under his glove and into right field, and the Rays have runners on the corners and 1 away. Not what you wanted if you're Pilar. He's at 32 pitches now. Runners on the corners, one out. Smith, your batter, the right fielder. Top of the order, first pitch on the way. Misses, it's 1-0. Top of the order, bottom of the order, kind of meaningless when you talk about these spring training games towards the end because they've moved so many guys around. The 1-0, swung on, fouled back, 1-1. Red Sox have come back to tie up the Orioles 6-6 in the 8th. The 1-2. Brings it. Swung on. That ball slapped into right field. That's going to get through for a base hit. And the Tampa Bay Rays have doubled their lead. It's 4-2. Braves are playing the shift on the infield. Don't think there would have been much of a chance of a second baseman making a play on that ball. It's a hard hit ball right through the infield. Took his fastball and just slapped it through the hole. So 4-2 your score. Runners on first and second. That'll be it for Pilar. We'll be back in a flash to introduce the new relief pitcher. Braves trail by 2 here in the bottom of the 8th. On this here are your 2025 American League East PECOTA projections. Projected to finish in last place in the AL East, the Boston Red Sox with 80 wins and 82 losses. In fourth place, PECOTA has the Tampa Bay Rays coming in with 82 wins and 80 losses. Just a touch above Boston's projections with 81.9 and 80.1 in the loss column. Toronto is in third with 85 wins and 87 losses. The Baltimore Orioles projected to finish second, not too far behind the Yankees with 88.5 wins, 73.5 losses. PECOTA has the Yankees projected with 88.7 and 73.3. Braves Country Radio's 2025 predictions. We see the Toronto Blue Jays finishing in last place in the AL East, somewhere around just below the 80-win mark. We'll say 78. We've got the Tampa Bay Rays hanging in there right around 500, so we'll go 81 and 81. And the Boston Red Sox taking a step forward, assuming they can figure out the mess that is Rafael Devers. We'll take the Boston Red Sox to win 85 and lose 77. Give me the Baltimore Orioles to finish with 89 wins and the New York Yankees to win the AL East once again with about 93 W's. And that's your Braves Country Radio 2025 PECOTA projections. Make sure to tune in Wednesday, March 26th for Braves Country Radio's 2025 preview show. We'll do predictions for all 30 Major League Baseball teams. That's Wednesday, March 26th, right here on Braves Country Radio. Welcome back. We got an 0-2 count from Gonzalez on Rorvett, who came in as the designated hitter pinch hitter. Typically one of the catchers that the Rays carry, the 0-2. He had a piece that he did not swing and a miss, strike 3. Good pitch by Gonzalez, Domingo Gonzalez. 2 away. Looked like a splitter. The bottom just dropped out of that one. First pitch on the way, swinging. Righty-righty matchup, swung on, pops it up into left field. Camping underneath it, making the catch. Jogging in there from the track is Quintero, and that'll end the inning. So the Braves have one more shot. There is no extra innings in spring training, so we'll be back in a flash to see if we can score 3 and walk this off.
I have had so many NFL players hit my DMs.
So I've been seeing a lot of reaction to this video, and it's pretty up what you guys have been saying. As one of the NFL players, like, I can confirm, I've been reaching out to her. We've had a lot of injuries on the O-line, and we could use a left tackle right now.
Do y'all remember those cars? I don't think they make them anymore, but when I was a kid, they had those cars that you had to blow on the machine, like, to power it. It wasn't like push to start, or it wasn't like an electric vehicle, but it was like a blow to start. It was like, and then it would start. You guys remember those? Because I remember in my neighborhood, there's this guy that had one of those cars. I don't know why he bought this type of car, because he could never start it. He would always ask me to start it for him. And I don't know how. I was like 6 years old, and I would always get on the first try when the car would start. Do you guys remember those cars? I don't know if it was like a Tesla back in the day. I don't think they made Teslas, but high tech. Now they don't make those. If you had one of those, please let me know what happened to those cars.
My favorite Met story is about their shortstop, Elio Chacon, who was eager but not very talented, and kept running into the outfield and knocking down Richie Ashburn as he was about to catch a fly ball. And he didn't speak any English, and so somebody, Joe Christopher, went to him and tried to explain this. And then he went to Richie Ashburn. He said, if you're going to catch a fly ball, and you see Chacon coming out, what you want to say is, yo la tengo, I've got it. And then I've told him, and he'll pull up. So Richie practiced. He said, yo la tengo. And game came along, and the situation was a fly ball. He looked up for the fly ball. Chacon rushed out for him. Richie said, yo la tengo, and put his hands up, and he was knocked flat by Frank Thomas, his left fielder. That was the Mets.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way. Garrett Acton is the right-handed pitcher coming in now. Righty-lefty matchup. Carlos Rodriguez, we just talked about him. Takes the pitch outside wide. It's 1-0. The 1-0 swung on and fouled back out of play. 1-1. If you had it paired up on another device watching the game, you notice Harris. Carlos Rodriguez came in for Harris last inning. 1-1 down in the dirt. Michael Harris the second. He's now batting just 167 this spring. 0 for 3. I know we're just getting started, but you'd like to see these guys get some base hits. 2-1 count. Braves and Twins tomorrow, 1:05 first pitch right here on Braves Country Radio. Pitch on the way. Outside wide, ball 3. So a 3-1. Braves trail by 2. Need a bloop and a blast to tie a little bit more to get the W. Here's the pitch from Acton. Ball 4. That pitch was nowhere near the zone. And your Atlanta Braves got something going here. Tying run coming to the plate. First pitch on the way to Ogans, who comes on. Swings at the first pitch, pops it up. I'm sorry, that's Workinger. Workinger has come on for Ogans. If you're keeping score at home, good luck. Ethan Workinger out of Encinitas, California. 23-year-old. Been with the Braves organization since 2021. The 0-1. Inside for a strike, 0-2. 0-2 count. Righty-righty matchup. Pitch on the way to Ogans. Down and away. Excuse me, Workinger. Keep seeing the Ogans on the FanDuel screen that they've got up top. They haven't corrected it yet, but that is Workinger. The 1-2. Brings it. Swing. Pops it over into right field. That's going to get through for a base hit. And you couldn't have laid that better on if you were playing golf. My word. It's like a divot shot that spun backwards, staying on the green, and your Atlanta Braves have put 2 on now. On the play, Caro, I think we should call him, Carlos Rodriguez. Caro went first to third. It was fisted just past the infield, and then just a divot shot spun backwards. No one was there even close to it. The runners on the corners. Nobody out. First pitch to Bunnell is right there for a strike. It's 0-1. Cade Bunnell, 27-year-old from Madison, Wisconsin, played his college ball at Indiana, the Hoosiers. He's got a little bit of pop in his bat. The 0-1. Inside 1-1. He has 50 career minor league home runs. The 1-1 to Bunnell. Acton kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Blew it right by him. 1-2. Braves 2, Rays 4. Runners on the corners. Nobody out. The 1-2. Swung on, slapped it back foul. We'll do it again. Braves and Twins tomorrow, 1:05 first pitch. With all the different changes in the lineup and in the pitching staff, it's actually been a pretty quick-moving ball game. The 1-2. Down in the dirt. That ball gets away, and I think at first the hind catcher was not really thinking much about it, and then realized, man, I better get on it because the runner from first headed down to second. Runner from third, Rodriguez, knows that his run doesn't count as much, so he kind of stayed put, didn't even think about heading down the line. But now that takes the double play away. But the 2-2 to Bunnell from Acton. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Swung right through that one. Curveball. It was a bit of a hanging curveball, but I think he was just a touch behind. Couldn't quite time it up. That'll bring Milligan to the plate, another righty-lefty matchup. Cody Milligan. Really like watching this guy play. 26-year-old out of Denver, Colorado. The first pitch on the way is down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. And he has no real threat of making the majors, but he's been given some good at-bats this spring. 1-0 to Milligan. Brings it. Swing, rips it over towards first. That's going to get through for a base hit. Holy cow, 1 run will score. It's 4-3. Holy cow, 2 runs will score, and your Atlanta Braves have tied it up. A warm burner to the right side of the infield that got underneath the glove of the first baseman of the Tampa Bay Rays. Genovese, the first baseman who's in for a Ronda. I mean, that was I hate to say it, that was an old Bill Buckner deal. That was right between his legs. That's one of those ones you wish you had it queued up to play behind the bag. Here comes Knight, and the Mets will win it. Here's the first pitch on the way. Swung on by Cairo. That ball's blasted in the left field corner. That's going to get down. It's going to get down where the green grass grows. Here comes the runner all the way around from first. They're going to stop him. Milligan thought about taking the turn at third, but he slams on the brakes, and your Atlanta Braves are now just 1 run away, 90 feet away with 1 out from taking the lead. How about that? He dumped that into the corner. The ball stayed, as they're going to have a quick powwow there on the mound. And I don't believe Acton's going to get any I don't think Acton's going to get any tough acting to Acton to get him out of the game. I think it's his game to win or lose here. One thing we do know, we're going to have extra baseball because though the game won't go to extra innings unless both managers agreed to it before the game, and very rarely do they do that. But you know Tampa Bay will now bat. So the Braves will either finish this with the tie or possibly get a W here, or they could also get the L. First pitch on the way, swung on, pops it up. High in the sky, not very deep, coming in and making the catch. It's actually over and short. The cameras were fading like it was running in by the left fielder to make the catch, but the shortstop makes the catch, turns around, fires it into the infield, 2 down. So Acton now just 1 out away from getting out of it. Really, when it's all said and done, that was a bad at bat by Casale. Because you know, when they have a powwow on the mound after getting rocked a couple times, you just want to spit on the first pitch. Because the pitching coach has gone out there and talked to you about some kind of strategy. Just let it go. First pitch to Quintero. Down and in for a ball. It's 1-0. That's what they did. They got him to chase something high, and he popped it up. The 1-0. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Quintero batting .250 on the spring. Braves have come back to tie it up. The 1-1. Brings it in the dirt. We could get a wild pitch to get us the lead. He's thrown a few in the dirt and one rolled to the backstop recently. We've got good speed at third base in Cody Milligan. The 2-1 pitch. High and out of the zone, ball 3, 3-1. So now, standing on deck is Batten. Acton is at 23 pitches this inning. You're wondering how he has fared. Batten has played in the majors the last 3 years, has a .239 average. The 3-1. Swing! Just got a piece of it. 3-2. The full count to Quintero. Will he go back to the gas, or will he try to get him to chase? Braves 4, Rays 4, top 9. Acton comes set. Brings it. Down and away, ball 4. So that will load the bases. Holy cow. That's going to load the bases, put ducks all over the pond. Here comes Batten. Matthew Batten. The kid from Quinnipiac. First pitch on the way, swung on, pops it back foul. It's 0-1. The 0-1. Rays do have Urbe, the right-hander, warming up in the bullpen. The 0-1. Kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Chase that one well out of the zone. 0-2. Braves down to their last strike. 90 feet away is the go-ahead run. Once again, not typical for there to be extra innings anymore in spring training. The 0-2. Swing. Just trying to stay alive. Fights off that fastball back behind home plate. It's 0-2. Foul ball slaps up against the screen. An 0-2 count. Here's the pitch from Acton. In the dirt. Almost gets away. Did we just say that, or did we just say that? He has thrown a few of them in the dirt. That one almost got away. Good block behind home plate there, Milligan would have been crossing home plate. I honestly don't know how he kept that from getting away. The 1-2. Swing, ripped over towards third, scoops it up, fires it across the diamond. Good defensive play, 5-3 put-up, and that'll end the inning. So the Atlanta Braves tie it up. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Rays one last chance to win, lose, or draw.
People will say, I have a Facebook, but I don't really know why, because I don't ever get on it. Well, I get on mine all the time. You won't know why, because there's always something going on. There was this girl, okay? She was working in one of them little Herbalife tea shops, just minding her own business in there, and this creepazoid comes in. And he was clearly batting out of his league, y'all. It just wasn't going to happen. She asked him, she's like, look, can I help you? I don't know. Can you? What do you drink? I'll have whatever you like. And it was like the most uncomfortable, awkward conversation ever. He decides to take it upon himself to show her a photo of his little pee-pee, y'all. It seems Limp Bizkit here conned someone into marrying him after this whole incident. Did she find out about it? Yes, she did. His response was, I was just trying to enjoy my last few days of freedom.
Okay, I want you guys to tell me what you think this means. So I just passed a strip club, and their billboard sign said 50 beautiful ladies, 50, half of 100, 50 beautiful ladies. And under it, it said 99 beautiful legs. Does that mean one of the girls only has one leg?
Still, the family of baseball continued to grow. Larry McPhail's grandson Andy ran a team. Yogi Berra's son Dale played for a while. And one evening in California, back-to-back home runs were hit by Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr. in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Welcome back. First pitch on the way. Swung on. That ball's belted deep into right field. That's going to go off the wall. That almost left the yard. And Taylor leads off the ninth inning with a double for the Tampa Bay Rays. My word. He absolutely smoked that ball. It hit the very top of the wall out there. So there's a yellow banner out there, and it hit the banner, and it was hard to tell. I thought it had left the yard at first. It just hit below the top of the wall. Braden Taylor, 22-year-old with a leadoff double. First pitch on the way to Genevis is inside for a strike. It's on one. He was the first baseman, Genevis, that let the ball go through his legs, so you know he would love to have the last laugh. The 0-1. Right down the pipe for a strike 0-2. 0-2 count. Braves trying to kiss their sister. Tie this game, a spring training game. You know, when they say a tie is worse than kissing your sister, what is a spring training tie? That's got to be worse than that. The 0-2, excuse me, outside wide, 1-2. 1-2 count. Righty, Taylor at second, nobody out. Gonzalez swung on. That ball's just got a piece of that. Tried to blow it right by him. He got a couple of stitches to knock it foul off home plate. We'll do it again, 1-2. Murray stands on deck. The 1-2. Swung on. That ball's lifted into left field. That is down for a base hit, and that should end the ball game. Coming around to score, and the Rays are going to walk it off 5-4. So a leadoff double that was smoked, and then a double that was hit down the line. They'll probably ring that up as a single because I don't believe Genevis turned first, but it would have been a double in normal play. Rays will win this one 5-4, and That'll do it for us. Robert's asking, are we going to do a live stream for the baseball draft? That's the weekend of the Braves at the All-Star game. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, y'all have a good one. We will see you tomorrow. 1:05 first pitch. We're taking on the Minnesota Twins. Hopefully back at our own home stadium, we maybe will see Chris Sale. If we don't see Chris Sale by tomorrow, I'm going to start getting concerned. Y'all have a great one, Braves country. Braves win, and then they lose. We had the thing tied up. We could have at least gotten a tie. It's the first loss, though, we've had in spring training in a week and a half. We did tie the other day, but that will be the third loss of spring training. Remember, we started off the season, the spring training season, with 2 losses. Then we won 4 or 5 in a row, had a tie the other day, won yesterday, and then today we get a loss. Not that it matters in the whole kit and caboodle when it talks about spring training, but you like to see the team win and you like to see the guys play well. Today wasn't one of their better days. Until the end, our offense was putrid. 4 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Braves. 5 runs, 12 hits, 1 error for the Tampa Bay Rays. Acton with the win and Gonzalez with the loss. We'll see you tomorrow. Braves versus Twins, 12:45 pregame, 1:05 first pitch.
You're in Braves country.
Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with 1 inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude, grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted, and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second, and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye A sneer cooled Casey's lip, and now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey. Strike one, the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him! Kill the umpire! Shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult, he bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, strike two! Strike two! Fraud! Fraud! Cried the maddened thousands, and answered fraud! But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain, and they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball, and now he lets it go, and now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner.